only 7% of Americans consider themselves very liberal. And probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, when we talk about traditional,
what does that mean to you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. It's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah, look, your time.
Take your time. That was none other than Briahna Joy-Gray, baby. I call her Bree Joy. So what you just watched was journalist and attorney Briahna Joy-Gray asking conservative author Bethany Mandel to define what she meant by woke. Just asking her, what does that mean? We want to make sure we're on the same page. Oh, Mandel needed a lifeline. I mean, serious lifeline. And this is especially important because Mandel is a huge critic of wokeness. This could not define it. She could not define it at all and was proven to be an empty vessel on this matter. She was indeed exposed. And this is 100% grift on Mandel's part, as well as some of her other governor friends and right wingers all across this country using woke, and they don't even know what it means. They don't even know what they think it means. I mean, it's one thing to know like the literal definition or the cultural definition, which we're gonna break that down today. But when you don't even know what you mean, I mean, she could have just reached behind her, took one of her books off the shelf and just read it verbatim. Okay, because she tried to do all of that after the interview. But check out this headline, which says it all. A viral moment reinforces the hollowness of woke as an attack, coming from the Washington Post. Here is some background on that. So Mandel, that was the person that Briahna Joy was interviewing, had been asked a seemingly simple question by Gray. She was on the show to promote a book she wrote with another conservative writer, a book that purports to demonstrate how, quote, radicals are indoctrinating young people in America. Mandel began the interview by asserting that there is sort of a woke reimagining of our society that is happening in a lot of different ways, spurring Gray to eventually ask her what she meant by the term woke. I mean, that wasn't even a hard question. And we might rephrase, goes on to say, we might rephrase that slightly. Woke, as often deployed by the right, refers to something emanating from or related to culture wars issues that you understand as or want to portray as bad. You know it when you see it, in the sense that woke is applied to a broad array of rhetoric and actions that share no common thread beyond being an anathema to the political right. Bump gets that right. Now in lies the problem. The term woke really was co-opted by people like Mandel, the right wingers. It was co-opted by the latte liberals on the left and bastardized by the extremist right. And as W. Camille Bell uncovers in a recent interview about the concept of woke with Michael Harriet explains exactly what it is. And this is what Michael is saying to Bell. There's the word woke, and then there is the concept of woke. That concept has been around for years. The first time we heard the word woke in history was in the 1920s with a blues player named Huddy Ledbetter. He heard about this case of the black boys in Alabama who were falsely accused of raping a white woman. They were in prison, and he wrote a song about it called the Scottsboro Boys. After he finished playing the song, he told the audience, if you are black and going through Alabama, keep your eyes open. Y'all gotta stay woke. Let's put up a picture of the great Lead Belly. Here he is again. And he was just letting them know, just speaking plain to the audience. If you're black and you're going through Alabama, if you're black and going through any state, you got to stay woke. But this was particularly about what happened to the Scottsboro boys. So the term woke was originally a watchword for Black Americans. But see, these fools would not understand that. And unfortunately, as pointed out in the interview, woke became the battle hymn for latte liberals and used for general self-righteousness and performative social justice, because that's what latte liberals do best. And even the way wokeness is defined in the dictionary, in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, has changed. It has changed. So let's put that up. Merriam-Webster defines woke as aware of the actively attentive to important facts and issues, especially issues of race and social justice. But that's the old definition. Wokeness has become the enforcement of a narrow set of values and a policing of language. It is now a method to shut down any alternative options, even those within the same general range. It's a system characterized by intolerance and showing one's own superiority by denouncing those who step out of line. Now, Jessica, Mandel needs to go on back to preschool on this because she wasn't ready.
Yeah, was not ready. Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful moment. I mean, a really great journalism from Briahna Joy-Gray. That was brilliant. Conservatives like to define themselves out of a problem though, don't they? They like to make the definition something so that it favors their arguments. Ben Shapiro went on Twitter right after this and he's like, it's when all of the disparities in society can be explained by systemic injustices. When if you said the word most instead of all, instead of saying an absolute, people would easily agree with you. So that's what they do. They try and corner you with their own definition of the word. It should be defined by the people who came up with it, who started using it and who use it to describe themselves. But if she were to say that definition, if she were to say, well, it comes from folks in the United States who are Black, who are warning others about being aware of the violence of white supremacy, defining the word itself, they would have to acknowledge racial injustice in the United States, which they vehemently want to deny. So I'm sure as she's searching for a definition in her head, she went through a few and was like, it's when you're aware of your country's history. No, can't say that. It's when you're aware of systemic oppression. No, that I can't say that. I'm sure her brain was just going a million miles a minute because it's all about denying reality.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and you could tell, you could see the light bulbs going on and off in her head about what to say. You're absolutely right.